Everybody, it's Jeff from Angela City. It's a Sunday, about 3:20 to March. Beautiful day here in Angela City. It's about 90 degrees, not very humid, nice breeze blowing, sort of like a nice Hawaii day for those of you who've ever been in Hawaii. But just coming back from the pool, and I thought I'd stop at the site, just do a quick vlog. I've been here all week, very, very slow week. But I'll show you what happened all week, and then we'll do a little walkthrough today. And then I'll answer a couple questions that keep coming up again. I answered them in one of the other vlogs on the square meters of the house and the lot size, and then some information on contract when building a house. So stay tuned. To the back of the house, and they are plastering back here. They set up the scaffolding. They've drained the swamp water out of the cistern, so to get the rest of that little bit out, they'll waterproof it, put some forms in there. Well, they're going to tile it as well, but they'll put some forms there for the concrete. I'll have a manhole cover over there, and then concrete all of this, and then the floor will be done here. Well, look at it's done. Oh, it's done. Oh, look at that. So this is called a cove.
Double cove.
Double cove. This is a double cove. So as you can see, sort of like an island here, and then around, and it's my understanding that there'll be lights along here hidden all along the end there. So they'll have, this will be all drywall, so they'll put drywall here, and then again this will be like a little island in the center, which should look really good. I don't know what the name of it is. I think they're saying cove, but they're doing something similar here in the dining room and kitchen. But make a few modifications because the cassette AC is going to go here, and that framing material is a little close to the steel decking, so they're going to move it down a bit so they can fit the cassette AC in there. Because they need a certain amount of room. I think he said 45 centimeters on the top of the cassette, or 45 centimeters from the frame to the steel deck. So not much going on upstairs here, though the builder and I did a little walkthrough yesterday, and it was decided that this is where all of the conduit for the outlets is going to be connected, but we're going to move it from here over to here because the panels will not be in the garage. I think they're going to put the solar panel in the garage, and then the electric panel will be in the little coat closet there in the hallway just off of the garage. So what they'll do when they put these over there, apparently they'll cut these flush, and then the conduit goes in directly in there, over here, and then they'll do the dry packing, which we'll talk more about that when we get to that point, which is the method they use to put tiles down here and level everything out. So there'll be the dry packing over top of this, and then the tile over top of that. So you won't see the outlets at all. There's Sonny. Hello, hello. He's making the plaster. Hey, Kuya. And they are squaring the window frames for the windows. So this is the angle iron for the roof. It's about half. The welder has been cleared, so hopefully either tomorrow or next week the welder will be on site and he will start fabricating the roof frame using this angle iron. And they put some more scaffolding up on the outside so they can continue to work on the frames, the skim coat. And then the guys digging the cistern are making some headway there. And they finally got that root out. But they didn't find no gold down there yet. So when they find it, it's 80% to me and 20% to them, right?
90%.
90?
Yeah.
Because you're doing all the work? Every time I come here, Kuya, he's down there digging and you're standing watching. Why is he digging? Because he's younger?
Yes, sir.
He's younger, stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're the you pulled that root out, huh? Well, there's still a little bit piece of it over there, right? Yeah. Okay. So here in the back, looks like they finished plastering this part of the back wall, and then they have that to do. And they still have one more concrete hollow block on there. That's the planter wall, which is going to be 4 concrete hollow block high. And again, there'll be an opening here to the yard, and then another concrete hollow block planter wall down to the end. And this is the cistern. For those of you who have not seen any of the previous videos, this is where the water is going to be stored and pumped out of here, pressurized for the house. But so there'll be a slab of concrete put over that. There'll be a manhole cover put here, and then there'll be a wall that goes across here, and this will sort of be a room for the cistern and the pump, and maybe there'll be some extra room in there to store stuff. So the wall will go across here, and then from here up is the outdoor living area with the bar over here. Put maybe a cabinet in the corner here for some glasses, and maybe a TV in this corner here. And again, this will be under a roof. So they're still working on finishing up the framing in the dining room and kitchen. They've already finished the ceiling framing in the office here. And again, I forget what they call it, some kind of cove, something or other. And then this opening here, I think I showed it in one of the other videos, that was going to be for they don't use propane here, they use liquid petroleum gas, sort of like propane, but the plan was to have sort of like a concrete box. Those tanks would be put in the box from the outside. There'd be a door there, and then you could put 2 tanks with 2 holes with the hoses coming out. But talked to the builder over the weekend, and we decided to just wall that off and then put a little concrete pad on the outside here. And be able to put 2 large tanks there and maybe build a little cage around it or a little cover. But that's what we're going to do with that. And they were working on squaring the window frames up for the windows. And they were digging in the cistern out. It's been a slow process. So again, they have to go to just about here, almost to the wall. I think they have it 2 meters deep now. And then they'll pour concrete down there, and then the walls of the septic will be concrete. And I think there'll be 3 chambers in there. I'm not really a shit expert on how the septic system works, but when we get to that, I'll find a little bit more about it and explain it to you. But those are the drains for the sewage that's going to come out of the house and go into the septic. So here in the master bedroom, they were working on squaring the window frames, and I think they got all of them done here. So they'll finish that off with skim coat. They moved over and done a little bit more skim coating here. Did not started the skim coating in the master walk-in closet. So that should do it for the walkthrough. So to answer the couple questions, the square meter of the house and the lot, and I answered that before, but I'll let you take a look here. So the living room here in the background, basically from this wall here all the way to the wall in the back is probably about 10 meters, maybe about 30 feet. And then from this wall, where I'm standing, over to that wall is probably about 5 meters, about 15 feet. So this entire area, the kitchen, dining room and living room is probably about, I don't know, 50 square meters. So square feet, probably about 600 square feet. And then the outdoor living area out here. You can see this entire outdoor living area is probably about 600 square meters as well. So that includes all this area back here, and then this area here. I'll just give you a little bit of perspective on the house size. So the house size is about 330 square meters. But as I mentioned before, here in the Philippines, they count all covered space as far as square meters. So that 330 square meters includes the garage in this outdoor living area that I'm in now. Although it's an outdoor living area, it'll be covered with a roof. So that 330 square meters covers the garage and the outdoor living area. So square feet, I think it's about 3,500 square feet, 3,600 square feet. The lot size is just under 400 square meters. So believe it or not, it's probably a little bit larger than a lot of the other lots here that people build on in the Philippines, but one of the smaller lots on this particular subdivision. So most of the lots in this subdivision are 500 plus. I think they go up to 800 square meters, so they're pretty big lots. This is one of the smaller lots. So if you're looking for specific square meters of rooms, I put that in one of my, I put the architectural drawings in one of the other vlogs, and I will link that vlog in the description below if that's something you're really interested in looking at. So next, I wanted to just briefly touch on the contract, the building contract. Get a lot of questions on that. I'm certainly not a contract specialist or expert, and every contract is a little different. I mean, some people come over and they don't use a contract. Maybe they have some building experience and they just, they buy all the material themselves and hire some laborers and some skilled laborers and they build it themselves. Some people get a contract that covers everything from cradle to grave to include furnishings. And then some people do it somewhat in the middle. So I'm just gonna cover what I think are some key elements in the contract or that were key elements in my contract, in that maybe if I had to do it all over again, I would have tweaked it just a little bit. So aside from the name and the price in the contract, the scope of work and what's actually covered in the contract. So for my particular contract, it does not cover the tiles, the kitchen cabinets, or the cabinets anywhere in the house, countertops, and light fixtures. And for some people that may not be practical, but for me, it's what I wanted. It is practical. Anybody who's built a house before knows, like, you get a house built and everything's covered in the cost of the house. You're going to get like maybe a choice of 2 or 3 different tiles and a choice of 2 or 3 different types of cabinet styles and a choice of maybe 2 or 3 different light fixtures and fans and stuff like that. So I wanted the ability to just go out and choose that stuff and choose the quality that I wanted. I didn't want it to be builder grade quality. So that's what I choose. My contract doesn't cover any of the cabinets in the entire house, which is quite a bit. So we have some cabinets in the outdoor living area, the kitchen cabinets, the kitchen island, the pantry, shelving, TV stand cabinet, a big shelving unit that separates the dining room from the living room, and then the walk-in closets. And the master walk-in closet is pretty big for those of you who've seen some of the videos before. So I'm responsible for the cabinets throughout the house and the tiles. So we already got the tiles, already put 50% down on the cabinets. We're working with the cabinet maker on the cabinets. So you want to make sure that the scope of your contract covers all of the things that you want it to cover. If you're okay with the contractor picking your cabinet out or picking your tiles out or giving a selection of them, you know, that's fine. But for me, that's not something that I wanted to do. You want to make sure that your contract covers change orders. And we've had a couple, I don't think they've met the threshold of an official change order, but when you're building a house, you're going to change some things. That's why it's very, very important when you get those architectural drawings, you take the time and look at it to make sure everything's the way that you want it to be. So you minimize the amount of change orders that you have to submit to your contractor. My contract has been pretty good. Most of the changes have been very, very small and didn't require an official change order. But you want to make sure that your contract covers that, covers milestones, you know, key elements of the construction, project reports, and the all-important payment. So I think most contractors will want about 50% upfront of the total cost. And then for my contract, payments after, that's based on the completion rate. So give me a project report, and if he's at 60%, then I would give him an additional 10%. When he's at 70%, another additional 10%. So that's how the payment plan works for my particular contract. You want to make sure you have a penalty clause in there. And I'll tell you, that's just a sort of a double-edged sword when you're talking about penalty clauses. So my penalty clause in my contract is if the contractor doesn't finish it by the end of April, I think it's 1% of the total amount that I owe him. He has to pay me 1% of that remaining amount per day. And in the big scheme of things, that's not a whole lot of money for him. So when you decide on a penalty clause, you want it something that's reasonable, but you don't want it to be something that's going to scare him away or cause him to raise the price, the total price, because more risk for him means a higher price for you. So you got to find something somewhere in the middle that sort of encourages him to finish it on time. If that's important to you. To me, it's important because I'm paying a lot of money on rent. And I have to give my landlord a 2-month notice to vacate. So, you know, right now I'm at that crucial point. Is the house going to be done in April or is it going to be longer? So it's something to think about in your contract. If I had to do it all over again, I may have adjusted that a little bit or maybe had some payments tied into the milestones. But you really need to be thinking about that. The other thing you need to think about is, obviously my contractor is motivated to finish on time because there's a penalty clause in there. But the question comes up is the people working on the site, on the house,
motivated as well. If you have a bunch of subs on the site and they know that at the end of this project they're going to be out of work, are they really going to be motivated to try to finish and work hard to finish the house by the deadline that the contractor has agreed to? So all things that you need to think about when you put a contract together. So those are the key elements that I thought were the key elements for my particular contract. It may be something you want to consider. I'm sure that there's some others out. Well, I know there's others out there that watch some of these videos that have already built or in the progress of building. So if you have any comments or input on that, please put it in the comment section. Be helpful. I've learned a lot from the viewers and the comments that have been put out there, and I'm sure others can learn a lot as well. But I wouldn't rush right into a contract. And if you're not going to be around for the build, you want to put some stipulations in your contract as well on how that's going to be monitored. Me personally, I don't think I would ever build without being here to keep an eye on it, unless I had somebody on site that I could really, really trust. I talked before about the tendency to cut corners. If you're not watching things, things may not get done the way that they should get done or the way that you want them to get done. And once it's all finished, it may be a little bit more difficult to unring that bell in certain regards. So you really need to just think about it when you put a contract together. Look at some other contract, talk to other expats who have built and about some key points in their contracts and problems that they may have had in their contracts. But that's it for contracts for me. Again, I'm not a contract expert, just my own 2 cents on contracts. If you enjoyed the video, you like this type of content, give me the thumbs up and hit like and give me the thumbs up. If you enjoy this content and you want to be reminded of future vlogs, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Comments or questions, please put them in the comments section. And I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are at, and hope to see you next time. Take care.